Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in. You have tuned into the Reach Podcast Show with LeVar Ellis. And today we have a stress awareness episode. And we're going to talk about a few things related to stress. And I know everybody's heads have been all over the place here in the last few weeks. And as y'all can see, we have our lovely guest, Miss LaTriska Small, is in the virtual studio with us. I always want to say in the studio, but she's in the virtual studio with us. So appreciate you being a part of this show, Triska.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And before we get into her introduction, I just want to say, shout out to all of our first responders, all the people that's out there working, putting their lives on the line and getting the job done. Special shout out to my homeboy, Eat Spice. He's one of those people. Been talking to him, checking in with him. My homeboy, Ron Harris, man. I just want to shout out to y'all boys in the medical field. And again, my sister as well, and anybody that's just doing what they do on a daily basis. We have all kind of people that are getting out there and risking it every day, and y'all just remember to stay safe, wash your hands, all of the things that seem cliche, but man, it's oh so important. But Triska, you have anybody you want to shout out in response to that?
Let's see, my cousin Weta Collins. Then we have, there's so many that's just in the nursing field alone. Like it's the primary industry for African Americans as well. So just all the doctors, nurses. Thank you for your service.
Absolutely. And so with that, we'll get into the introduction of our guests. Again, Ms. LaTriska Small, tell the listeners and audience about yourself. Who are you?
So again, my name is LaTriska. I'm from Houston. Well, born in Wichita Falls, Texas, but raised in Houston. And by day, I'm a commercial realtor. And by night, I am a step aerobics instructor with Xtreme Fitness. So today I'm on the show just to discuss fitness and how that's tied into living a much stress-free life. So yeah,
absolutely. So I guess the first thing, so you we get that title to a lot of women. I see you with your cup, girl boss. I see you got your this morning. But no, being a commercial realtor, I guess because you have a couple ways that people can connect with you. One on the commercial realtor side, and I'm sure you can do something with residential and point them in the right way. But I guess tell them a little bit about that, and how long you've been doing that, and just tell us a little bit about that, because it's not just about the extreme hip hop. You might can relieve some stress by finding people a place of business.
Oh, surely. So I just feel like I'm in a service-based business. My foundation is I started commercial real estate when I was 19 years old or so. So I've been doing it about 20 years. However, that is a broad topic. And my background is really property management, which has allowed me to work with, hundreds, thousands of tenants, along with the landlord. So I left corporate America about a year ago. Next month it'll be a year, and now I'm with a company called the Guillory Group. And so we do commercial sales, we do leasing. I do consulting work for residential realtors who have a client that they want to do the commercial transaction but just need some help. And so you're looking for if you're starting a new business or you have a business, need to relocate, see some guidance with your leases, I'm here for you.
Absolutely. And I've had a few people ask me, not that they're ready at the moment, but do you know somebody that's doing it? So, here's the opportunity. I hope they're watching. It reminds me to hit up one of my boys that's been looking for a commercial real estate space. But
that's the best time to call me. Don't call me when you need me to do it overnight, because I'm going to tell you need to go to somebody else. So when you're thinking about it, because I can help you plan, I can let you know, kind of, get your requirements together. And as you said, I also do residential real estate. So, real estate has been a passion of mine since I was a young kid. When I got the Chronicle, that's the section I would go to.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm here for commercial and residential, and that's just what I do.
Absolutely. That's your thing. That's your lane, So, that's what keeps the bread coming. And, for anybody who's looking again, like she said, commercial or residential, just give LaTriska. So let's do this right now, too. Another thing I like to do is give them your platforms, whether it be Instagram, or, email, or how they can get in contact with you?
So my biggest platform right now is Facebook, and I'm just under my name, LaTriska M. Small. That's just kind of where I live my life and where everything is shared. But I also have a real estate page as well, and an extreme fitness page. So follow my pages and I'll keep you updated.
All right. And that's Extreme Hip Hop.
Extreme with an X.
Yeah. Extreme with X, like your shirt says.
Yeah.
Extreme Hip Hop _ LaTriska.
Extreme Hip Hop _ Triska. Hold on, that's my Instagram. So Extreme Hip Hop with a W and then Triska.
Okay. All right. Got it. And so, just speaking of stress, how is that, still talking about real estate, how stressful is that industry right now in the times that we're in, before we segue into the extreme hip hop? How stressful is that, dealing with it, or being someone who's actually looking for a place or a place of business? We hear about how the real estate industry and the marketing goes up and down, and the housing industry is what I was trying to say, goes up and down. How stressful is that of an experience right now?
So I would say this: I really haven't been focused on residential and following the market with that, because I am primarily a commercial realtor. But with anything, it starts with planning. So, and I'll tell you what, there's not one office building that's closed since this pandemic has started. It's just, and this kind of leads into me and how many hours I used to work in corporate America. But let's just say Hurricane Harvey, that's not an industry. When everybody was sitting at home, you stay at home. That's right. An industry where I was working 16-hour days, doing construction and getting things back together. So as far as businesses, when you're talking about office buildings, it's different from retail. So office buildings, if that's what you're looking for, they're not closed. They're still open. So now it's a matter of how companies run their business, and who they're going to have in the office. So doing leasing, finding out knowledge, all that's still live, well, and happening. Now you talk about retail centers. Of course, a lot of them has closed because, you can't have the traffic in and out. So, it's just everybody has to comply with what's going on. But, in each sector, there's just different circumstances.
Right. Okay. And so with those long hour days, that leads us right into what we're here to talk about today. And that's trying to relieve a stressful life, not necessarily living in it, but trying to find ways to do something different to where you're not as stressed out, and, trying to be able to cope. And, working those long days, I can imagine, it's just like you come home and it's like, or maybe you're in a position where you couldn't do that, because I know, you have kids, as the flyer says, your mother of 4. So, in doing that, what led you to this extreme hip hop? Is there something underlying that led you to this, or it was just a conscious decision? Tell us about that.
Well, the funny thing is, I've lived most of my life in fear of dying young. And this came about the fact that this is my mom's side of the family. So my great grandmother died in her 30s. My grandmother died in her 40s, and my mom passed away at 59, shy of her 60th birthday. And so I just knew, and then these are like heart disease, underlying conditions that can, be prevented. And one was a brain aneurysm. So I was just I've always been in that mind frame, like, I just don't want to go early.
And I gotta say, I not to cut you off, Triska, but I gotta say, I loved your mom. She knew me, I knew her. It's just mama, man. Yeah. I can remember like it's yesterday, man. So, it's good to just see you in the space you're in right now, speaking on that. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Just have to pay respects to mom on that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, that was just kind of always in the back of my head. And then, just to be brutally honest, when I would say about 8 to 10 years ago, I started to pick up a little bit of weight. And I was like knocking on a size 10, and then 6 months later I was jumping into a 12. And my mom at the time was like, you don't want this. And so, and not only that, I was raised in a house where she didn't buy sweets. Like, we didn't eat sweets. So, with that, and then I was married, and my husband was like, look, this ain't really what I signed up for. So after that, I was like, you know what, I respect that because I have standards too.
Right.
And so I got a personal trainer. I worked out, and I was just, it just started to go. And so it became a habit when I started going 2 a day until I got the hang of it. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. But the other like connecting factor is that working and being a mom, and then I had children that were athletes. And so it was like, go to work, grab the kids, go back to work. And so then I felt like a pinball machine. And I was a minute. So I'm doing a lot of stuff for everybody, but like, when am I happy? And I like spending time alone, right? And so like, okay, what am I really gonna do for myself? And I found out like the gym was the only place that nobody could argue, like, where are you? What you doing? Like they never asked that. So I was like, well, that's where I'm gonna hang out at.
You found your retreat.
Yeah, they wasn't checking for me because then I was like, well, come with me. And then they was just like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it was just and so that's really how it got started. And then I, with the personal trainer, I was doing a lot of weight lifting, and then I just realized I was getting puffier. And I was like, well, I really want to be slim. I want to be a lot slimmer. And so I was staying outside these group classes, a step class. And finally I got enough courage to just go in there. Right. And so once I got it, because I was like, okay, somebody's going to laugh, just the normal things. And then I realized like, well, ain't nobody looking at me because they watching their step.
Right.
Yeah. And then and another part of that, it was just, I was watching other women who were teaching these classes. And I'm talking about, women in their 50s. I was still in my 30s. Like women in their 50s doing group, body pump classes and things like that. So I was just motivated and inspired by other women.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And speaking of other women, we got a lot of people tuned in right now. Shout out to sis Mika Diamond, Jamaica Simmons on here. Saturn. She said that. Saturn said that's my story queen. That's my sis from over there to Tawana Lewis's shop. And then Chris Bryan is on. My man Brandon. And then Yvette, I don't know if you remember Yvette McNeely, but shout out to all y'all. We appreciate y'all tuning in. So once you found out that that's what you wanted to do, I guess you just stuck with it, and what motivated you once you did it to keep doing it? What was about it?
Again, to stay away from my house a lot. And but really how I got started with Xtreme was I just wanted to take the class. I hadn't even been following Xtreme brand long, but it was just one of those ads that popped up on my phone. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it since I like step. Let's see if I can get it in with this hip hop music. And then I went back to work and I didn't register for the class. So I looked up the weekend was there and it was like sold out. And so the only class that they had left was a certification class. And it's funny because I had wrote down my goals, and one of them was just like, doing real estate full time without corporate America stress, and then becoming a fitness instructor. But I didn't have like a title to what that was. It wasn't step. It wasn't this. It wasn't that. So nonetheless, I registered for the class, and I just didn't tell anybody because I felt like if I told somebody and then they backed out, that would give me a reason to back out.
Right.
So and I realized I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna have to do it alone because can't nobody work out for you. That's one thing you can't pay somebody to do.
Absolutely. You can pay them to help you, but they're not doing the push-ups, they're not doing the steps, they're not doing nothing.
I remember when I had a personal trainer and I would like cheat on my push-ups. He was like, okay, but you cheating yourself. And I was like, dang, okay.
Exactly. And so what would you say to the person that is on the edge, that because right now, let's talk about COVID-19 right now, for anything that you're trying to do, it's the perfect time, whether it's bettering yourself, whether it's working out, whether it's starting a new business, writing your goals down, sticking to it, all of that, now's the time. People always, even yourself, you working 16-hour days, having to come home to the kids and keep things moving. What would you say to the person that's still on the edge, and that wants to do it, but just hasn't gotten there mentally yet? What would you say to that person?
Okay, so I'm a just speed it up for you. So let me tell you, I'm gonna be real honest. Before I started working out, I used to buy DVDs and sit on the couch and watch them.
Hold up. Say that one more time.
I used to buy the DVDs to like work out before I like started the whole gym thing, and then I would just like sit on the couch and be like, man, they look good. Like, so if you even want to do that, you can come to my class tonight. Just check it out, right?
Absolutely.
But, you know, and then so after just sitting there, and then I was like, okay, let's just, you know, you just kind of make a decision whether it's, you know, conscious or not, and it's that one day you just show up, right. And you just keep showing up, and then you just keep showing up, and then all of a sudden you have a habit. So
consistency. Yes.
Yeah, consistency.
Mika laughing out loud. That is too funny. You know, you say,
and you know what? And let me be even more real.
That's not just your struggle. That's a lot of people's struggle. You know what I'm saying?
I've been to the fat doctor. Okay, yeah. Like people may look at me be like, "Oh, you so small," but that ain't how I felt, right? Like I had the stomach I didn't want, and so I've been to the fat doctor, and he was like, "Yeah, you need to go to the gym." You know, he couldn't do it. Yeah. But I was like, "How do I get this fat off? This belly fat, and how do I get this?" And so then it became like, okay, it's not even about fat. Now I just want to be stronger. And then it turned into a mental thing. And I was like, okay, the stronger my body is, now I'm like mentally prepared for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to talk about too, the transition, you know, and I'm talking to my son because we're in a stage right now. He's getting prepared for high school football. And I mean, this whole thing really applies to anybody. And so is this just for women? Is it just for men? You know, and I'm asking questions that may seem silly to you or may seem silly to some, but it's a lot of people that may have these same questions. But so your Xtreme hip hop classes, who are they targeted for?
Okay, so let me give you a little bit about the brand and why I'm sold, right? So our creator, Phil Whedon, who's out of Cleveland, is a male. And let me tell you, our motto is don't stop, don't quit, and don't give up. And that's what I mean about applying it to everything else in my life. Because just when I feel like I don't know that I can keep going, like those are the things that just keep me motivated. If I just keep saying them over and over again. But so it's not just for women. It's for somebody who needs to burn calories. And we're talking about a class who, you know, you can burn up to 800 calories. One day I taught a class and went to his class because I'm still a student of Xtreme. And I think I burned like 1,200 calories. Now the next day I was like, dead. But, you know, yeah, so it's just not for women. Men are in there. As a matter of fact, my certification class number 6, we have 2 men that were certified. So I really wish you know, men would gravitate to it because it's not like the moves that we're doing is so feminine, right? It's not that at all. So yeah, men are welcome. If you got some belly fat, if you need to work on some cardio, which everybody needs cardio, I don't care how small you are, you need to come to class.
And let's talk about that class. You have a class when? When is this next class?
So I have my very last free class today at 6:30 this evening. It's via Zoom. And so if you just inbox me, I will send you the link to it with the code. I don't publish it because, you know, there are creeps. And I like to keep my classes private. You know, I'm not with the crazy stuff that goes on the internet. So yeah, I mean, again, you know, make the decision for yourself, you know, show up, and then I'm there to help you.
Yeah, absolutely. So say that again, though. What did you say in regards to how they find the class? Because Mika, say it again. Mika was asking me a question. I was trying to read it, so I missed it. I don't know if anybody else missed it. When you was talking about your classes are somewhat private, how do they get the entry to the class? Say that again.
So find me on Facebook, LaTriska M Small. Or you can go to Xtreme Hip Hop with Triska, inbox me, and then I will send you the code. I will send you the link to Zoom with the code to access the class.
All right, cool. So catch her on Facebook, catch her on Instagram, and she'll direct the link to you. And that's tonight, Thursday tonight at 6:30. And how long is the class?
So the class is roughly 45 minutes to an hour. I'm with the Zoom stuff. They say 45 minutes, but I've been able to go an hour. So I'm going to stick with that format for now until I move over to Facebook, which is a whole different platform with being able to play music. So right now I'm just doing Zoom, but May 1 I'll switching over to Facebook. So you'll need a Facebook platform. Okay,
cool. And then as far as getting a bunch of questions, I'm trying to keep up with them. But one of the questions is, the level entry. Let's start with the class for tonight. What, like, as far as beginner, you know?
I'm glad you asked that because I have a tendency to overlook that because look, I'm pretty good at what I do, but let me tell you, there's some great instructors out there. So, but my class is a beginner to intermediate, and you don't have to have step experience to take my class. So every class we start off with a stretch warm up, and then I'll go over the basic call outs, and then we'll put some beats to it, and then we'll start with a routine. So I like to reference it as Simon Says. You know, it's like people get caught up in having to, you know, remember the routine. Well, you don't have to do that. All I need you to do is listen, right? And so I shout it out, you know, a beat drops in between, and then you switch to that move. So, and then in the basic class or beginners class, I mean, you learn 16 to, I want to say about 12 to 16 moves just within, you know, 3 minutes. So they're not difficult. The thing is just, you know, it's just what you're seeing when I post videos is like one move back to back to back to back, you know, so that's why it looks like a combination. So my class is moving.
You be moving. For those who ain't seen
I challenge myself. I look, thank you, but that was definitely stepping out of my comfort zone because speaking, you know, people know I can talk. I'm a conversationalist, but doing it online and everything, that's just one of those being motivated by Xtreme, you know, don't stop, don't quit, don't give up. And so what you've seen is videos that he sent out that was a challenge. And I was like, you know what? I'm going through some stuff right now. Let me do it. Let me do it. Yeah. And that's what people don't realize. Some of the 3 videos that I put out back to back to back, one of them, I don't know if you follow me, I lost someone like very important to me. Since COVID started, it was like March 10th. She went to the hospital, brain aneurysm. So I did one video because I sent it to her and she said, wow, that looks great. It's so motivating. You're inspiring. You need to do that. And I was like, okay. So I did it. She had a brain aneurysm, never woke up. The second one was the night before we found out we needed to pull the plug. And I was out there, you know, just still trying to learn it, but then just put it out there because I'm like, I got to keep going. I got to keep praying and I got to get through this. And then the last video was right after she was gone. And I had to do it because it was a Megan Thee Stallion video song. And it was the last concert she and I went to because she was my concert buddy. Right. So a lot of what you see is just, that's how I'm dealing with stress. And in the interim, because I don't like to work out alone, I'm a group instructor.
Okay. And just a couple people asking about the beginner class. Hopefully y'all heard that. Basically, she was saying that she calls this class the beginners to intermediate class as far as the class tonight, right? And that, you know, it just takes the commitment. Get started, you know, just step in. Another person is asking about kids. You know, are kids allowed into, I guess, I'm sure they're allowed for tonight, but like the classes that you're actually teaching.
As a matter of fact, I'm getting a lot of feedback. So I have done some Zoom classes since we've been on this, and you know, stuck in the house. And Ardia said her kids don't even want to go outside anymore. They're like, when's the next class?
It's funny you said that. She just tuned in. What's up, Artie? She just tuned in.
Yeah. So so kids love it. And there's another instructor who posts. I think she's out of North Carolina. But her kids, let me tell you, sometimes I look at her kids' videos and go like, okay, now I got to do that move. No more excuses, you know, and that's just the type of person that it is. And so, and by the way, we're always accepting instructors. This is not kind of like, oh, Triska does that. This is like, hey, Houston, you know, we take people, everybody's wanted, you know, no discrimination.
Yeah.
You know, we out here trying to live a happy life, and you know, and then who doesn't get excited when the beat drop?
Exactly. You know, and you're really doing something, and it reminds me of, you know, the NFL and the Play 60 thing. You know, we can create our own thing for the kids because, you know, with my organization, the Dad Chronicles, it's all about trying to invest in kids and giving them new things, and so this definitely falls in line with that, which is definitely something we can talk about trying to make bigger because once this COVID is over, or even if we continue with the Zoom things, but that's something we'll talk about. I want to put something together to try to get the kids to gravitate towards you, you know, in this whole deal, you know, because they would enjoy it, you know, and everybody making TikToks, everybody want to dance these days, you know what I'm saying?
I'm really, I mean, I don't, you know, with the whole COVID, I don't like that people are living their lives. I don't like that some people and families are out there struggling.
Right.
That part breaks my heart. But what I do enjoy is seeing people outside. I've never seen so many people out running. You know, it's just like I've never seen so many people in my neighborhood, and I've been here 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but then that just goes to show that, you know, for even if you're just out walking, you know, people, it's needed. The sun is needed. So
absolutely. You know, and I was making a mention earlier is before we got talking about the kids is you know, I'm taking my son out. He's going to the 9th grade and thinking about ball and all those things. And so this is just something else that even he, his sister, you know, they can all gravitate to. And you get into it, and it just takes the commitment, because this can help you lose the weight. Which leads me to another question. Nobody's asked it yet, but it's a just an information question. You know, what would be the ranges of a good day, you know, as far as the calories? You know, how many calories are burned for a beginner versus, man, you really worked it out, you lost this, I mean, you burned this many calories? What would you say the range would be for those who don't really know?
Well, so so I don't really give out a lot of data because that's just not my thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a lot of, you know, I teach the step class, but I will tell you, you know, I would say 400 on the low end, but, you know, even if you don't know a lot of these moves, you wear out quickly, you know, the thing is you just march in place. And so, you know, you could be, I would say between 600 to 800 calories, and that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay. Just wanted to hear from you. So, what can they expect when they come to the class tonight? You know, I don't know if there's a major difference between the last free class and then your paid sessions. What would you say they can expect this evening to get from it? Because you have quite a few people commenting about it, and you already have one person that wants to be an instructor, but she said later on in life, so she'll have to get with you when you're ready.
No. Ain't no time. So tomorrow promise. Okay, give me a number.
Absolutely. Man, you can see it. She's commenting on there. She said, "This is my calling. I love to dance, and like I said, I love Phil. I'll follow him, and I would love to become an instructor later in life." You know, so you can you know, and just motivate her now. Ain't no better time than right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, so what can the people expect?
So really tonight's class is the same format as the paid class. It's just I'm just gonna be charging. Whether it's reduced to deal with the pandemic or, you know, help people, whatever I gotta do, but it's the same format. And right now through April, I'm just going to keep dropping, you know, okay, I'm going to do another class. But I start my monthly class pass in May. And again, same format. And it's just, but I'll add, eventually we're going to get to the advanced moves, because you keep coming back, you know, it's better songs, better, you know, moves, and you just keep building. So same format. We just go harder and harder. Just when you think you got it. Like, don't get me wrong, I show up to extreme classes sometimes and I think, why am I here? Like, why am I doing this to myself? Right? Especially when Phil comes to town, or even just another Houston instructor. It's just like, it's tough. Yeah. But when you get through it and you realize, like, wow, you know, I just did that, and it's like in a short hour, you know, you changed. And so, yeah, you just gotta. I don't care if you come in tonight to sit on the couch. I prefer you be up and moving, but we can work that out.
Log into Zoom and just sit back and watch it.
Yeah, that's how I started.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but Shauna, she said, what about people with 2 left feet?
We take them too.
Exactly. You know, just as long as they move at 2 different times, you know, they'll work together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing I think when it relates to this step program, you know, you have to listen to the call outs, and you have to do one move at a time. When you start mixing up stuff, then you're gonna have 2 left feet. Yeah.
And so with the range of steps or the call outs, how many call outs are there in that short hour that they're going through? You know, is there, like, you doing one, you do another one, and then by the end you're mixing them all together and completing the dance? How does that work?
Oh, by first routine, we already mixed them together. But you got to remember, like, our basic step is step up right, step up left. I mean, this is basic stuff, right? So it's not something that you have to be overly, stressed about. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to explain it to you. So step up, it's like right basic, left basic, knee, toe, heel. Those are all parts that and so it's easy to comprehend.
Yeah, and I know people can get it. They doing the Tootsie Slide. He doing call outs of that song.
Look, I can't even, I'm still, this TikTok thing, look, I'm struggling. I still want to do I'm a Savage on that one, but my kids keep laughing at me, so I'm like, you know what, I'll find some adults that won't laugh. I just need some help.
Okay, yeah. Look, you can make your TikTok for your instruction class. But hold on, somebody was saying something. Oh no, I read that. But with the moving forward of your classes, is there any type of goals that you're giving people, or is just strictly to get in there and burn stress, burn calories, and just give them a mental escape? Is there something different that you're doing, or you're just sticking with the overall, just letting them express themselves and release?
I mean, I feel like you just hit everything, you put the nail on the head, however you say that saying. But so, I mean, it's for me, I will just tell you, for me, again, you can't go to a step class and concentrate on something else. It's impossible to do both. You got to follow the beat. You're listening for the call out. So that alone, that's going to give you your stress relief, because before you know it, your body is producing all these endorphins. And so when you finish the class, it's just like, okay, because people ask me, where you get all your energy? And I'm like, from the class. And they're like, oh no, that looked tiring. But no, that's where I get the energy from.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah, I just say, when you show up, you got to show up for yourself, because again, nobody's watching you. I'm probably, in a normal class format, I can't even watch you on Zoom. I just got to keep going, right? But in a normal class format, I could, probably do one-on-one in a sense in the group. And so you got to show up for yourself. You got to have the right attitude, because, and people get concerned about hurting themselves. I will tell you, the only people I've had hurt themselves in my class are the ones that are playing around, playing. It's like, oh, girl, we tired of doing this. And I'm like, if you really just be quiet, enjoy the class, you'll be good.
Right.
Yeah. So you got to take it serious.
Right. And so, any, with all this awareness since COVID is going on, is there any type of precautions that people need to take? Like if they have high blood pressure, if they, have this illness, is there, and again, I know you're not, clinical, you're not, certified in that way, but is there anything that you keep in mind to make people aware of? Because some people, I'll just say ignorant, and that's not talking about anybody, but ignorance is just when you don't know, if you don't know, you're ignorant to the facts. So is there anything that you would tell people to be aware of? If it's just make sure you drink a bottle of water or 2 bottles of water before you get started, is there anything like that you would suggest for folks?
Right. So on top of, me growing up with that whole struggle of, if I'm gonna die young, because all of my, mothers, people have passed on pretty young. I struggled with high blood pressure, right? And it was stress related. Mm-hmm. It was from dehydration.
Look, I raised my hand to that too. I struggled with that.
And it was from lack of exercise. But I can tell you, when I went to the doctor, they just threw me on medication. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, internet comes around. I'm just Googling, and I'm like, wait a minute. Everything that they're saying causes it, I could just do on my own without this medication. Of course, I still see my physician. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
There is already, yeah, go see a doctor. But that's just the basis of why I moved. But the other part of that, I'm not gonna play with you. I had to change my diet, right? Mm-hmm. You have to change your diet. I'm not gonna come up with anything new that no one else has already told you. And people always ask me, what do you eat? And I say the same simple thing. I basically eat Thanksgiving food year round. I do. Greens, beans, potatoes. Like, I eat stuff that is grown out of the ground.
There was a time that I would say we lost touch. You know what I'm saying? And I'm tripping because I just always remember you as this small little chick, and you talking about all the weight getting gained. And, I don't want and I'm joking. I mean, I know everybody goes through that thing, but I don't want people to think like, I know there's somebody somewhere like, I know her. She ain't had to work off no weight.
You know what? It's so funny. It's so first of all, there was only a period in my life where I did gain the extra weight. So some people probably didn't see me during this time. And again, my natural size right now, I'm, between a 4, maybe 6, really 6. And then sometimes depending on how much I've been working out, I'm a 4, but naturally a 6. But I went to a 10. I was going to a 12, and I could see it. And I was not happy. And I'll even give you an example. So this guy I used to work for, I went to go visit him the first of this year. And when he saw me, he was like, oh, wow. He was like, what have you done? Because you look way better. And he was rude. He's always been rude. But, it was my life. It happened. So, and it was probably about 2-3 good years that, I had on the extra weight. And my knee was hurting. I was like, I don't care what nobody think. I ain't with the thick thing. Don't call me thick. Just call me healthy. Okay?
And that's no offense, I'm sure, to the thick women. It's just that you've always been on the smaller side. That was my point, in making that comment. You've always been on the smaller side. And so I missed that period. I didn't see that period where you actually gained the weight. And so clearly at any level that you're at, transformation can be done. There's several people on here. My girl Saturn, she's doing a hell of a job with transformation herself right now. And so it's just the dedication, and consistency. Is really what it takes.
Yes, and that's the thing is like, when you're a small person, people be like, oh, she's just small. But I'm like, no, I'm working for this because I still have fitness goals, right? Like there's a girl in our Xtreme group that can do 100 burpees. And I'm not talking about just like on the floor. She's using her step too. She's jumping up in between.
Wow.
I'm struggling at 25. Okay.
I don't know if I can do 100, so that's man.
No, a lot of people don't. I mean, it's not even normal, but there's just so many other people just in this group that, I look at their body and I'm like, okay, I want my thighs to look like that. Now, granted, I'm not looking at, I need to gain 15, 20 pounds. I'm just talking about muscle, right? So I'll gain that with muscle, but I'm not going to gain it through putting food in my mouth, just to have weight.
And so let's talk about, if you can, if you feel, or just, it can be your opinion, because again, being certified and, people with their opinions these days, what would you say is a good diet regimen as far as like eating a full breakfast, eating a full lunch, eating a full dinner, like what type of things would you suggest to go along with getting committed to working out in extreme hip hop?
Yeah. So your diet is you have to eat right. Now, granted, I do like a lot of healthy food, right? So you'll see me post healthy food, but that don't mean I don't cook steaks. I eat a steak once a week. I'm not vegan, but I do have days that I don't eat meat, and it's because I've learned to say, to eat beans because it's a natural source of protein. If you're looking at stuff in a sense for protein, meat gets its proteins from plants,
right?
Everything else. So it's like, don't eat the meat and still get, the protein you need. There's so many things that's on the market. Like, I'm going to get hella conflict from saying this. People talk about keto. Keto is just food to me. It is just food. Like, stick with the bases. Like, you don't have to buy products that has a bypass of another product.
Right.
It's like, if you need something with turmeric in it, put turmeric in it. Go to the spice store. Those stuff. It's just so many things that you just need to stick to the basics. And so when I first started, changing my eating habits, one of the things, I got so stressed out about what to eat that I didn't eat. And that wasn't good because I couldn't work out.
Right.
And so
you have the energy to do it.
I don't have the energy to do it. So you got to eat. So again, what I eat for breakfast, I may just have an apple, banana, but if I'm trying to like put on some pounds, like just stay kind of consistent, I'll have still cut oatmeal and I'll mix it with 7-grain cereal. And so that to me is kind of like a solid breakfast. And then for lunch, what I do is I meal prep. So my good weeks where I'm really disciplined and I can really hit my fitness goals, I cook everything in one day because I don't have time to cook every day. So I'll have, chicken fried rice stored away, which is, with brown rice. I'll have, again, bean soup. I'll have some greens. I'll cook baked potatoes. Those are the things that I just eat, and that they're filling enough. And I was even telling my girlfriend, she laughing at me, but I'll get me some black eyed peas and a baked potato, and the gravy from the black eyed pea, it go down. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And it ain't no meat, and I'm still full.
Right.
Yeah. And so I like regular things, sushi. Like I said, I'm not a vegan. I just eat more healthier foods, and it's not stuff that you don't eat. Except you stop eating it at Thanksgiving, and I'm still eating it all year.
Right.
Not the mac and cheese, though.
Say not the mac and cheese.
Not the mac and cheese. I'm lactose intolerant, and I don't do dairy because naturally I've never had dairy.
Yeah.
That's I haven't had to break. But the older I get, I find that when I tell people that, they no longer drink milk.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I've kind of grown into this realization that I must be lactose intolerant. Because you couldn't tell me nothing back in the day. I'm gonna eat me a bowl of cereal, drink the milk, and it's all good. And now it's like, oh my God, my stomach is killing me. It's like,
no, see, I felt like the weird kid growing up because I could never have milk. And so I'm sitting there, and back then, folks, your parents was just like, well, then don't eat. You don't want to eat this cereal. And I'm like, I can't eat it.
Yeah. I can't do it. I can't hold it down. But yeah, man, that's some good stuff. So getting back into the structure of the class, right? So what is a normal class size like as far as if you're meeting up? And I don't know when we're ever going to be able to do that, but what would be a normal class size that you would imagine when you're actually meeting up? I ask that because from the perspective of people that are just getting started, like a beginner's class, being nervous about who's watching and how many people going to be there. Do you limit it yourself, or how do you handle that?
No, to me, that's just an internal factor you have to deal with because, when I showed up to be certified, I didn't know anybody in the room.
Right.
Sometimes you just got to put on your big girl panties and be like, shh, all right. Yeah, because it's like, how they going to judge me? They here to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
So you got to get out your head and stop thinking like somebody's really worried about you. And if they are, you really need to stop thinking about them.
Absolutely, because if they worried about you, they not focused on what they needed to do. Exactly. That's what I wanted to hear. It's just, I try to ask questions as plain as possible because there's somebody thinking about it. You know what I mean? They're nervous. They really, really, really want to do it, and they just come up with anything to just bag out. You know what I'm saying?
But that's why. And so again, it's all internal. Like for real, do not ask your friends to go with you. It's right. You gotta work out for yourself because your friend gonna back out, and then now you back out, and you're like, I was gonna go, but okay, that excuse sounds good to nobody but you. Like, and that's the thing with Xtreme. Let me tell you, I have seen some stuff. We have an annual conference. I saw an instructor show up with a whole boot on her foot. Okay. So it's just like when people come with you with these excuses why they can't do something, we have instructors that are in their 50s. We had, like, my certification class had like a 19-year-old. I done seen like one of our instructors in Dallas, they did a video. One lady had like a walking stick and she was out there grooving. She did what she could do and she looked great.
Dang. Oh, this reminds me of another thing. So for those who are dedicated and they ready to get going, tell them what they need. Like a mat or the stepper, where they can find it. What are the things you need to really be prepared? How do you prepare yourself?
Okay, so if you're really ready to get it on, you don't have to have this for tonight, but you can still tune in and still do modified moves. But yes, a step platform is what we're all about. So you got to have a step. I prefer the 43-inch, which is the larger board, just because it's a full workout. Some of the other ones are smaller. They're plastic. It's just, I don't feel as comfortable. Like I said, my first step class was at Gold's Gym, and that's the one they had. And so I stuck with that. So the step board, you're definitely going to need some water. Okay.
So wait, hold on. The step board, I'm sure Academy, Amazon, like where they find them.
Amazon. It's so funny because they're flying off the shelves now. I don't know if that's extreme, hey, or just being at home. So so Amazon is where I ordered all mine. I have seen them on Walmart's website, and I do not know if they're at Academy.
Okay.
But yeah, just do some Google search.
Everybody go to Amazon. Everybody using Amazon. So
yeah. So just do some searches out there. But I will advise you not to create your own. If you don't have one, just do the modified version. You can still move around, because what you'll get used to is just hearing the call outs. And so when you do get your board, you know it's time to get busy.
You know what to do.
Yeah.
So you said the board, and you were going on. You said water. What else?
Water. You're gonna need a towel, because we're gonna sweat. And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of reason why I didn't like to post a lot of videos is because I feel like a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not cute. Nothing is cute about it. Okay.
Stop it. You ain't doing nothing if you ain't sweating, man or woman.
Yeah. So you need a towel. And then I also recommend men and women to buy the waist trainer. I personally use the $5-6 one from Walmart. It's the Gold's Gym brand. And I can tell the difference when just coming off an exercise, off of a workout session. You'll see a difference in your stomach. So, and if you need more than one to wrap around, get you two. You know, until you start getting smaller and smaller. But they're pretty large in size.
Okay. So stepper, water, waist trainer, and of course I gotta have some nice shoes to put on. You know, some comfortable shoes.
And I will tell you, doing step, because I've been teaching it for a while now. I'm in between shoes. A lot of people, I do have like some LeBrons. I'm trying out the basketball shoes, but those things are heavy. You know, I try these slip-on Pumas. So sometimes I just switch up. But then, you know, for a girl, we trying to be cute too. You know, and that's one thing I want to tell women. Go out there, purchase you some fitness clothing. When you show up to the gym, put on something nice that you feel sexy in. I don't care what size you are. You know, and I'm going to tell you, even from a smaller person, when you see larger people coming into class, you really just think, if you have admiration for them, right? It's just like, wow, look at her. She's about to get it in. Or look at him. So you don't have to worry about being judged like that. Because anybody that's there coming to the same thing.
Absolutely. And it's cliche. And the saying goes, you can finish the statement. When you look good, you feel
good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, so and the last thing is, I do say a max. So I do push-ups in my class, but I do them at a level that's comfortable for you, because a lot of women, we don't have upper body strength, right? And so I remember doing my first push-up in a long time. I was just like, who does these and why? But then I was like, because I was always so concentrated on just my legs looking good. Then it was like, okay, I want a stomach, but you know, I want my whole body to look good.
Yeah.
So and so we do push-ups, but you know, I just put on a track and I'll tell you, you know, the kind of the routine of how we're gonna do them, and you do them at your speed. And the next time you come back, you can do more. You can do more. Like there's always more.
I'm gonna give people some free game, because the class tonight, again, let's talk about the class, because in respect for time, we'll have to cut it down. I really appreciate, you know, everything you done gave the people. I'm sure you've helped a lot of people. But it's a Zoom class, and you can turn your camera off. If you're feeling embarrassed, they can turn the camera off. They can
you don't even have to you don't have to go live with me. You can have your camera off. You can do whatever. I've taken other instructors' classes, which I have to do often to, you know, stay with it. But yeah, sometimes I have my video off. Sometimes I don't, you know.
Yeah.
So you can.
Everybody who hasn't done Zoom,
and nobody can see you.
Yeah. You know, with Zoom, you have the flexibility of having your mic off, you have your camera off. You know, you can be doing your thing, and nobody has to see you. You know, but when you really get into it, you have the camera on. You're interacting with everybody else, and so this is just something that's great, man. I'm gonna have to. I have something going on, but I'm trying to shift everything. I want to try to be in the class tonight too. You know.
Okay.
and get my son in there. You know, he in the
I'm gonna be up by 5 o'clock because after that I'm gonna be in my work zone. So, you know, I can add people and sending links, but yeah. So I just want to just round back up because I know we're short on time now. But you know, again, like when I prepare for my classes, sometimes I still just for endurance, I just go run around the lake by my house, right? Yeah. My friend likes to call it a pond because she got a new house. So I just run around the lake and, you know, just to build up endurance. And so if you come to this class and you go like, man, that was tough, you know, in the meantime, until you come to another class, go back out and say like, okay, well, can I just kind of like jog to this song for 5 minutes? Can I do one song? And so those are the in-between days.
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. And so just to wrap all this back up, we have Miss LaTriska Small, commercial realtor, can dabble with the residential side of the business as well, but we're mainly talking about the extreme hip hop. She has a free class tonight. So Triska, tell them again the time, and then the class is at 6:30?
6:30 tonight.
Okay. And for those who are not rushing and, you know, can kind of get prepared, what is a good time? Like how much time before the class would you say kind of get your body ready, you know, drink your water? What would you say would be a good time to start that preparation for the class?
Lunch. That's what I'm about to do. Like you have to eat.
Absolutely.
Have to eat. And I find that I don't, you know, even heavier sized people, they don't eat. They don't eat, you know, during the day. They don't eat properly. They're not eating enough stuff. And again, if you food prep, you're not gonna go hungry and just go to Whataburger. You're gonna have some food to just snap out real quick and put it in the microwave and just eat it. So you need to eat lunch today, and you need to have a snack or something before class because you have to have some fuel.
Absolutely, and have your water ready, your Gatorade. So give people they're tuning in and they're wanting your Facebook page. I guess your email, however they can reach you for this evening and in the future.
Okay, so again, my Facebook is LaTriska M Small. I have 2 pages, and then 3 pages. So one for my real estate business, but just find me on LaTriska M Small, and then I also have the Extreme Hip Hop with Triska. So inbox me on either one of those pages, and then I'll send you the link to the class tonight with the code.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And tell her you got this information from the Reach podcast show, because I want to see how much of a response you get from this. But, you know, look for me in there this evening. I'm going to make that happen. And I just appreciate you being on here, sister. You know, it's been a lifetime. We've been knowing each other forever, man. And just
I know. Should we tell them about the bet that we had in middle school where I beat you in basketball?
Man, watch out, man.
You know, competitive.
Look, I forgot about that. Just like the expression thing. I don't know what you're talking about. But
thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there any last statements or anything you want to leave before we shut it down?
Yeah, I just, you know, I'm all about. It took me a while to get here, but you got to put yourself first. If you don't put yourself first, you'll never live the life that you want to live. You know, and not to say that I don't work a lot, because I still work a lot, but you got to put yourself first. If not, I don't even see how you can be happy. So
yeah. Self-care. So there it is, man. Triska M Small. I appreciate it, man. And y'all reach out to her. Hope to see a lot of y'all in the class tonight, man. And you know, much love. Stay safe. Wash your hands, Triska. You know what I'm saying? And be safe. Take care. All right, it's the Reach Podcast with Awaress Ellis and Triska Small, man. We appreciate y'all.
Bye-bye.
All right, later. Man, we appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Y'all stay tuned for the very next episode. Today we're doing back-to-back episodes. Up next, I have Brandon Stocker and talking about cannabis awareness. We'll see y'all shortly.